Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 896 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Pyles, joined today by a number of hosts calling in remotely. We've got Shane Sparks. We got Quadbox here. Take a look.
Right.
James Dean Rader coming at us from Columbia, Missouri. He's one of the coolest people I've ever known to be in Columbia, Missouri. And also Ben Funky Askren is here. He maybe spent some time there. On this day
I'm
of
not
days.
in Columbia, Missouri. Great town. Where are you going to eat today, JD?
I don't know. I went out to D-Rose for dinner last night. I don't know if you know.
I think D-Rose is a little overrated, but I was a college kid at the time.
It's okay.
I
but
like
it's
a little
just
filthy El
on the
Rancho. A little filthy
El Rancho is
downtown.
probably the move tonight because we won't be done until late,
Yeah.
Weekday, things closing down at 9 or 10. Connor may be up burning the late night fuel, getting the content you all crave. And then we got to get nachos at like midnight,
There you go steak nachos. They're delicious. You will not regret it.
I know all about El Ranchos.
All right, Food Talk Radio Live. This is essential. More pressing than nachos. David Carr and Keegan O'Toole are going to wrestle tonight.
There's nothing more pressing than nachos. If you told me I get nachos or I get to watch David Carr and Keegan O'Toole, I'm going to take the nachos, Christian.
Okay, really. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Nachos while I watch it.
You know what? At 6:59, we're gonna pull your Flow Pro account. You're not gonna be able to watch, and we'll send you nachos.
I would get creative.
You would get creative.
I'd get creative. I'd hack in the system somehow.
Hack into the mainframe.
It is unofficial at this time, but I got word yesterday. The plan is to start at 174 pounds.
That would be great.
School.
They should really do that.
The Flow staff, me and Mark Bader, have been doing some backdoor politicking, trying to get this to happen. But Coach Smith actually brought it up to Bader and was like, it'd be good. Should we do it? I'm kind of old school, but I'd like to do it. And I think Coach Dresser, I don't know, he seemed amenable to the idea.
He's kind of old school, too.
I don't know. I wouldn't view – I feel like both of them are like – they're old school, but definitely have evolved
They love putting on a show, both of them.
Those are two of the better marketing guys in the sport.
100%. 100%.
You get them to do it.
So they get it. It's a no-brainer. You start at 74. Really you got to end with the main event of main events. So here's hoping that goes down in what could be. I mean, the reality is not only is this the biggest match of the year so far, but the duel could very well come down to this match and who wins it.
Yes.
This duel is just toss-up city. There's very few heavy favorites in this. I'm just going to run through it real quick. 25, Certain versus Feasley. That to me is maybe not a toss-up, but I'm not counting out Iowa State there against Noah Certain. 33, Redding versus Connor Brown is a toss-up. 41, for me, Hart Swiderski is a toss-up. Mahler Pinheiro, toss-up.
Hold on. Feasley is 8-11. That is not a toss-up. Take it back.
Who was the guy that wrestled? Was he who wrestled against Goldhofer?
Yes.
No, that's the match. Is not.
Or is that Perryman?
That might be Perryman. Feasley's 8-11. He does have some close losses to decent guys, but it doesn't appear any good wins at all.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
Noah Certain needs to win that match.
You might jinx it. They got to have that one.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
57, Jake Hughes is a favorite over Kreiser. 65, we'll get to that. Definitely a toss-up. Mako, Broderson, Edge, Mako. Coleman, Hawks, Edge, Coleman. Elam, Bastida, I mean, I don't know. Probably 2 weeks ago you'd say Rocky, but probably not really. I mean, now he's lost to Cerber.
They're both coming off losses.
Yeah, both coming off losses. Bronigal had a nice win against Bastida on Sunday. Was that Sunday?
Yes.
Sunday.
Yeah.
And then Elam
with
Schuyler.
a nice win because he had lost two tough ones the week before. So that was a big win for him.
Yes. Yes, it was. And then heavyweight is 7 versus 8, Elam versus Schuyler. So really there's a few favorites, 25, 57, 74,
I'm going to say
84.
Mako's a significant favorite because He
I
did
agree.
lose to some bums earlier in his career. I think he's kind of out of that phase a little bit.
No, I think I even said he was
Okay.
a favorite there. I don't think there's any
All right.
dispute. I wonder if they throw Gaitan out there again.
That would be interesting. He kind of did well against Runyon, but he probably hasn't used 5? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Wrestle stat.
They're kind of in a weird spot too, where it almost would be like if one of their guys was better, because they got Rojas also. Maybe they're going to slide one to 84, but Carr's still back at 65 next year, so it's like, well, one of them would theoretically be on the bench anyways. So if if one was better than the current starter, it would make sense to start them.
Gaitan's used like a lot of events.
Well, assuming
that first one's 4, because North County was second semester, doesn't count. So it was the Florida dual meet, the scuffle, the Iowa State pit, and then Iowa Northern Iowa. So that's 4.
Oh,
did you mention Iowa?
Because he could be
Iowa
unattached.
State?
That one. Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh no, you're right. I'm wrong. Okay, you're right. That was 5 dates.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
It's 4. He's only done 4.
No, it's Shane's right, because he did the Iowa State tool. I missed it. I thought that first 3 was all the I'm blanking what the event was called, the one where they wrestled Wisconsin in the single day.
Mm-hmm.
So his first 2 were that. Then so that's 1.
That's 1.
Iowa State is 2. Scuffle is 3. Iowa State Pittsburgh is 4. And then Iowa State Northern Iowa is 5.
Couldn't Scuffle be
1?
Scuffle's second
Scuffle's
semester? Scuffle's second semester.
Is it?
I mean, it's not the first semester. It's either break or second semester.
Well, did he wrestle in an Iowa State singlet or like a plain singlet?
You can wrestle in the singlet and be unattached.
Really?
Yeah, they kind of got rid of that. You can wear the
Okay.
singlet.
Got it.
So he could have one. Anyway, lot of MJ Gaitan talk on Keegan O'Toole with David Carr Day, which I don't know how much of a breakdown situation you want to get into, Ben, but maybe just get Shane's thoughts first on this matchup.
Yeah, you guys know how I am on this stuff. I mean, I break it down like nobody else. I'll tell you what I love about this matchup, guys. I love 2 God-fearing guys thrown on the line with a ton of respect for each other. I mean, I just like how they're both. I like, number one, that both guys are coming out and saying they're going to wrestle. I think that's awesome for wrestling. It's not like, are they going to go? Are they not going to go? I love the fact that right from the get-go, both these guys have come out and said, we want to do this. I like how they, I just love the mutual respect these guys have for each other. And I think it's going to be an awesome match, and I have no idea who's going to win. No idea. That's my thoughts. I mean, I obviously probably give O'Toole a slight edge, but God, I mean, you're talking about. I mean, what is it, guys? They each have a loss in their college career. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I looked at this because also there's really guys that wrestle that have lose this infrequently. Do you guys know who all of David Carr's 3 losses are to?
Deacon, Willits,
Mako.
And the kid from Oregon State, right?
Willits.
No, you got it.
Yeah. Deacon beat him twice. Mako, yeah.
Mako.
Redshirt year.
AWA maybe got his number. I don't know. We'll see.
I remember when that happened. It wasn't talked about a ton, but I remember like Missouri was super fired up when it happened.
Yeah. And Mako got hurt in that match, and they didn't wrestle again for like 2.5 months or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that was annoying. Yeah.
That would be annoying. Yeah, I'm curious. A match like this, Ben, do you think it's one where there's a lot of points, or do you think they're more calculated?
I don't know about calculated, but they both are very hard to score on, right? They both generally score a lot of points, and neither one gets taken down all that frequently. So I think both of them will try to score takedowns. I just don't know that they'll have a ton of success scoring takedowns against the other person, because the other person is going to be very good.
And then if there's not 10 points scored, we can all go, oh, gosh, it was disappointing.
Well,
no.
We'll see.
I doubt that. What is the best opportunity for each guy to score? Does David Carr have to generate from a leg attack to score on Keegan?
Yeah. Yeah, because he's not going to score defensively, I wouldn't imagine. No, I think Keegan can score defensively on him. He's got a few different unique attacks, and David Carr's not going to have had that feel from anywhere else. I think Keegan can ride him for a while also. I wouldn't say turn him, but he could definitely ride him. Keegan's incredibly good on top and rides, he rode Hamidi for 2.5 minutes or whatever. Nobody rides Hamidi ever, right? Hamidi's really tricky off bottom. So yeah, I think he could score in the scrambles. I think he could obviously score offensively if he's able to get to the legs. Getting David Carr's legs is a challenge. But if he gets there, I think he will score. And then I think he's going to try to push the pace also. We saw he really pushed the pace against Wyatt Sheets and ended up winning 14-4, whereas, Carr got 2 takedowns early and then kind of shut it down and won 5-3 and wasn't really firing off late and looked, I don't want to say he looked tired, but it was obvious that he wasn't as fresh as he was in the first period.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how I look at it.
Given Keegan's defense, do you think it forces Carr to be really selective with his attacks?
Yeah, like you'd be an idiot to shoot a high crotch on Keegan, for example.
Well, that's
kind of like 3 points.
And for him, well, that's how Jake Wenzel took him down, I'm pretty sure. But
no. Keegan got taken down because he shot a high crotch.
Oh, that was right.
Yeah, like a dumbass. Oh, dang it, Christian! I made a statement to myself. I am going to stop swearing on FRL, and you got me all fired up. Made me swear in the first. Now I'm gaslighting you because it's definitely my fault, but I'm making it feel like it's your fault.
You know what?
I'm going to stop swearing on FRL, and then I only made it 12 minutes.
I misremembered. How the match went.
I was mad. I was so mad because Keegan would not. I was trying to yell. I was actually got kind of close. Remember, that was the same. That was St. Louis, where there was like no one there. So I wandered over there because there's like no one around, and he would not stop shooting a head outside shot, and I was so frustrated by it. And I was trying to yell for him, do not shoot a head outside shot, shoot a head inside shot, and he wouldn't do it.
So for Carr, his best leg attack is his single leg, so it should be head inside. It could play to the strength. I love that this match is happening too. I love that it's been really no doubt from either guy that it was going to happen. And I will say, and I may have mentioned this on the show. Sometimes I can't remember if it's just a conversation I had at work or before the show.
I know, right?
But I feel like this year has been a lot better with the anticipated matches not happening. I feel like by and large, the biggest matches happen. We did have, well, I say that now I'm remembering the Southern Scuffle where Keegan, David, and Shane, all their teams went, and only Shane.
No, we talked about this because we talked about it in reference to the picks of how many, we mark them yellow when they don't happen. How many in previous years were marked yellow compared to this year where almost all of them are happening.
Duels have been very good this year.
Yeah.
I feel like tournament entries were down. In fact, we had a whole I think show after Midlands and Scuffle. Yeah. And so just salute about where was everybody. But duels for the most part have been very good.
How quickly we forget. Yeah, the Midlands was really disappointing.
There's just not a lot of tournaments either, really. When you think about what big tournaments are there, there's Vegas, and then there's those two, and really besides that, it's been it's these teams put together these smaller 6 or 8 team tournaments where they guarantee that their guys are getting X amount of matches, right, per athlete. 3 or 4 is generally the number that they want.
Okay, let's quickly. We have a lot to get to. Mark Bader's going to come on the last 15 minutes to talk about this. Yes, he is.
Hey, Mark Bader.
He missed you so much. Bader going to talk about our newest Flow film about Dunia Sibimana. It's amazing. We'll talk about it later. It's up on the site now to watch. Don't watch it now. I'll be very offended. Because the show is happening now. So, want to break down kind of this match, maybe how we see it going. JD is abstaining because he wants to.
That's wimpy, JD.
I think he wants to pick against Bastida, but he's worried he's going to get power bombed. So, Bastida might spike his headgear in his direction. So JD's kind of wimping out, but I'm going to make him host this. Walking us through this duel as we discuss.
I texted y'all my picks, so don't say I didn't.
Okay, I'm going to read them right now.
But you know what you didn't do, though? You didn't, I don't believe, let me just confirm this. You had the duel being tied, but then you did not say who the winner was because there's going to be tiebreaking criteria. So who is the winner?
He has it as a tie.
Criteria. I do think this duel is very close. But with all the toss-up matches, it could turn into a blowout, which makes this duel kind of special. I'm in Colombia, but I'll go Cyclones win on.
Oh, whatever.
Match points.
I'm going to call a Rancho and tell him, do not serve this man.
Send him a picture. Yeah. Hey, let's start the duel at 174 and let's just speak it into existence.
That's fun. Let's do it.
That'll be Peyton Mako versus Julian Broderson. Peyton ranked number 6 on the Flow rankings.
Oh, yeah.
Broderson unranked. We don't know that it'll be Broderson. Do you have any intel there, James?
I'm pretty sure it's Broderson. I don't have any direct intel. Iowa State was not in the room yesterday afternoon. So.
Got it. Okay. I think this is a decision for Missouri, for Peyton Mako. I do think there's a chance it could border on bonus, but Broderson's pretty tough. I don't think he has a lot of bonus point losses.
Yeah. I would venture to guess. Maybe I'm gonna text Peyton and tell him his ass needs to work for a major tonight.
Yeah, he needs a major.
Dang it all.
Foca majored him. Starachi beat him 5-1.
A lot of 13 points on him.
13-7 decision for Plot, and Mako and Plot are, pretty comparable.
Sometimes Peyton tends to. I mean, this is just in general. Dual meet strategy is if you're better than the person, you don't take them down and ride them for 2 minutes in the first period, right? You try to score a second or third or fourth takedown in the first period, and then the dominoes start to fall a little bit.
It drives me. I don't say it drives me nuts. I am flummoxed when I see it happen. It's like you could definitely get 2 or 3 takedowns to this guy in this period.
Oh yeah, for sure. The worst thing is a lot of high school coaches. They're like, it's worse in high school because they're so against the takedown release for whatever reason. But it's like riding in high school can kind of be disastrous because refs calling stalling on top. There could be locked hands. It could be a dumb reversal. All these bad things can happen. It's like you're clearly better on your feet. Then score 3 or 4 takedowns in the first period. It's just such a simple strategic move that'll make your chances of winning go up immensely.
Yeah, it's coaches putting their own, ideals or their own strategy for maybe that they used on every an individual sport where they're all different and have different areas of skill. So I'm going decision here, but Mako, should be pushing for a major here.
Yes, I will.
Especially guys in this dual meet with if this thing comes down to match points, if you got to score. I mean, you can't be a guy that. I mean, you got to score points. Have to. I mean, this is one. I mean, right? If you're Mako, this is one where in this kind of dual meets, you got to put a little more. I don't know if I'd use the word pressure, but if you don't get a major decision, you didn't. Quite frankly, didn't do your job. Is that fair?
Yeah,
I know I'm borderline. I know I'm
speaking into existence. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean it's really just it's all in the effort, right? Or you're trying to score throughout the match. And if you are and you come up short and you win by 4, it's like okay, that's admirable. But that's something to Shane's point. If you're up by 4 and you can get another takedown at the end of the match to win by 6, that could be a big thing for criteria, which. Who knows? We're talking like it's going to criteria, but it could. Right. These two teams are so close.
I sent the order.
You got to assume that anytime you're in a dual meet like this, right? I mean, if you're wrestling in this dual meet, you got to assume that's going to be the case. Plus, that should be how you want to wrestle, anyways.
Yes.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, obviously, I agree. Just so we can talk about the theoretical opposite. Actually, I did this one time. I did this at McDonough Duels. But so the opposite of that is. You make an assumption that you're way better than the person, and then you give them an easy escape, and it just so happens you're not actually that much better than them, and then they take you down and ride you. So there's one kid, for example, an 8th grader. He mainly goes to maxes, so I knew him like kind of good. He's tough. He got easy takedown. I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's let him up, get another takedown. He lets him up. He got taken down. He got barred up and pinned. I was like, oh. And he even was like, he's even like, no, I don't want to cut him. And I'm like, dude, come on, let's go cut him, get some points. And then he got taken down and barred.
That's the what is it? The
idiot.
The F around, and then you F around and you F and find out. That's what.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't know your opponent's skill level exactly, but I mean, this is maybe not quite as quite that scenario.
And then the final score then is like 15-2.
And it's also like one of those where, he's got good offense, but maybe he doesn't have good defense, right? So that guy shoots in, they just fall down. Man. Okay, so that's what are you predicting, Ben? Bonus here?
Man, he's gonna have to work really hard to get the major. Let's speak into existence. Peyton Mako with the major.
I think it's a decision, 4 or 5 points. Okay, next up, you got Marcus Coleman, number 4 for Iowa State, taking on Colton Hawks of Missouri. Hawks really tough, but big favorite here. A reasonable favorite for Coleman. I'd say probably comparable favorite to Mako Broderson.
That's fair. This is actually, I feel like this is, if I had to pick one match, I would to go one way or the other. I'm probably most certain in this match, probably this and 74. And honestly, now that they don't got Kabamban or their good guy, maybe 25 after that. But this Hawks would have to really shock me to pull the upset here.
Yes, and a Cyclone has already pinned Hawks this year.
What happened in that match? Because he barely ever. He does not beat any of the better guys. But it's relatively rare he gets blown out. He's kind of hard to score on. Like Parkman only beat him 7-2, for example. So that's probably on Flow Arena. I'm gonna go look that one up and see.
I'm looking at it right now. I got to pull it up.
What happened? Tell me what happened.
I'm about to tell you. I'm gonna go towards the end.
Tell me right now.
He is in a headlock as we speak. So let's.
He got headlocked.
He might have got headlocked.
Cowboys,
we call it.
Does it change his mind if I tell you Marcus Coleman is 0-4 in his career against Missouri guys?
Hey, let's go.
Oh my gosh. No, it's so stupid. Hawks,
what happened?
Hawks, you're going to get so mad. Hawks
I'm going to go watch. Okay.
Hawks tries a head pinch, like a freestyle head pinch at a 0-0 match in the first period and gets pinned.
Going big.
I think the people need to see this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, actually, Marcus Coleman might have a mental block against Mizzou because if you remember, that was one of the reasons that, oh my gosh, how am I blanking on his name? He just graduated from last year. He's from Columbia Hickman. Help me out here, guys.
Who, Kent?
Jeremiah Kent, thank you.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Kent would always beat Marcus Coleman. And then he would lose to, Marcus Coleman was generally better against everybody else, but Jeremiah Kent would beat Marcus Coleman every time.
Check this out, gang. Yeah, from here is fine, Tyler.
Okay. I was going to find it, but you're going to make me watch this. It's going to be painful.
All right. So it's a
0-0.
0-0, 40 seconds left between Hawks and Divine. And they're on the edge, over, under. And now it's a front headlock. He goes head pinch. And just pulls Divine on top of him. And
what in the sand? What? Hey,
okay.
That is ridiculous. Someone needs to yell at him.
Put that on the do not do list.
What if they throw Clayton Whiting in there today? Go straight beast. He just deadlifted 565.
Well, my gosh. He's only 100 pounds away. He's only 100 pounds away from
he's a weight class under, so from a percentage standpoint, he's probably closer.
Closer, but I need 665.
All right, Clayton, you heard that? You listen to the show.
Yeah.
Mr. Pyles needs 665.
I need 665 out of you.
Clayton actually did beat Colton. I think they're 1-1 this year, maybe, or something like that.
Okay.
Let's see. Yes.
All right. 1-1. So that's we promised the Joel Devine Colton Hawks breakdown. You got it. Asked, answered, delivered.
What happened to Joel Devine?
I'm going decision here. I do not think Colton Hawks is going to attempt a head pinch and pull Marcus Coleman on top of him. That's my bold prediction for the evening.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Okay, then we got, oh my gosh, this was such a crazy match last year. Rocky Elam versus Younger Bastida. It was, as the kids say,
infuriating if you're a Missouri fan.
It was a movie.
A stall with 1 second left to send it into overtime.
So crazy,
and it was, and he really was stalling. It was weird. I don't know who to pick in this one.
So tired. It was one of those ones where, like, at the end of regulation, both hands on knees, both of them just puffing and puffing.
And it wasn't like disgraceful tired. They both had just wrestled really, really hard, and that's just what happens sometimes.
That's a great misconception of younger kids. If you wrestle hard for 6 or 7 minutes, you're going to be tired. You cannot do anything hard for 6 or 7 minutes. It's impossible. It's physically impossible.
Well,
it is. No, the max. You know this stat, Christian. I'll let you use this in the 512 Outlaws.
All right.
What is the maximum time your body can do max effort for?
Oh, like sprinting. I don't know, like 10
full sprint,
like 7 seconds.
4. Like 100% maximum effort is 4 seconds. So like the notion that we could give max effort for 6 minutes is preposterous.
Yeah.
Well, so you could say, like, 80%, 85%, probably like a higher strong pace, but you definitely cannot sprint for that long.
That's one thing David Taylor has always talked about. He's like, because his tank is always mentioned, even back high school, college. He's like, no, I am tired. I just know how to wrestle when I'm tired. He's like, everyone is tired.
Yes.
And I never really thought
I'll give you. You want my 3 factors in the tiredness debate?
Yeah.
Or
elevation.
Debate. Wait, if you're from an athlete. Because I just did this with Sinclair Monday. Number 1, how good a shape you're in, right? So this would be how large your gas tank is. Okay, so you could, by training, you can make your gas tank generally bigger, right? Then number 2 is how tough you are. This means how much of your gas tank you can actually use. And most kids in the beginning, they don't know how to push themselves to the depths of their gas tank, right? They get a couple gallons in and they think, oh my God, this is hard. I can't go any further, right? And then if you just really like put yourself in, some people call it a dark place, but you realize like you could just go a little more and you can go a little more and you can go a little more. And so that's how much your gas tank you can actually use, right? Is how tough you are and how hard you can push. So someone like David Taylor, for example, who pushes himself to near exhaustion, he could probably go till it's almost done. Like he would maybe go until he falls over if you let him go long enough.
Yeah.
And then number 3 would be the efficiency of your car, right? So how efficient you are when you use it. So for example, a big mistake a lot of kids make is if you just keep shooting underneath someone and you're not actually scoring, you're getting stuck. That is very hard for you, not hard for them at all. Right? They're sprawling on you. They're using gravity. You're going underneath. You're doing almost all the work. Okay. And so you got to mix it up. You got to hand fight. So now if you're getting them, you're faking and snapping and moving and they're like having to react to you. Now they're getting really tired and you're not getting as tired. Right. So it's an efficiency component. So those are my 3 components of the exhaustion thing is how big is your gas tank? How much of your gas tank can you actually use? And then how efficient are you at getting them to use their gas tank versus yours?
You don't even mention elevation. It's big.
I think that would, I think on the components that would probably just shrink everyone's gas tank. I would guess that makes if you have a 10-gallon gas tank and you go to elevation, it's like actually 7, 6 maybe.
Yeah.
Ben, who's the best conditioned guy you ever wrestled?
I never had anyone wear me. Mitchell, honestly, I will give you. So listen, I'm 38. I'm not in that much shape. The day I split my eye, Mitchell was wearing me out, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm gonna gas out. But like I'm pretty efficient, and it's not like I compete at a high level anymore. But no one really wears me out. Max was the one guy when I was like really competitive that I couldn't wear him out. He had pretty good cardio and position, was efficient. I couldn't make him fall over, but most guys I could just I would if we went long enough, I would just make them fall over.
What's the best conditioning besides wrestling that you would do?
Just wrestling.
Really? That's you didn't do like biking or running?
No. Well, the hardest thing ever is Aerodyne, but no, it's just wrestling. That's it. Wrestle, be efficient, wrestle hard, train your wrestling muscles. I just wrestle all the time.
You hated cardio.
I hated cardio.
You tried to get out of it. Do you guys
try to get out of it? No, that is a lie, Christian Pyles.
Don't swear. Don't swear.
I'm not going to swear. He almost made me swear. I'm not swearing. No, the deal is, here's the deal. The deal is there was the 8 lappers. Every Monday morning, we did an 8 lapper in the indoor turf room. The problem is I'm really slow, okay? And so if you didn't make it in 8 minutes, they saw that as a sign of you were being lazy or you weren't trying. And then you had to do another 8 lapper. Well, like everyone except the heavyweights got an extra minute, so they got 9 minutes, but everyone else had 8 minutes. I was one of the only people to miss it on a very regular basis. And it was so dumb. It's like, Coach Smith, I wear everyone out. I have the best gas tank on this team. I am trying. I do not want to run another 8 lapper. But every Monday you make me run a second 8 lapper. This sucks. And so then, like, most days I would just be like, okay, I'm going to try really hard. I made it probably like, I don't know, 5 times out of 60. Like, not a lot, a really small number, And so, some days I would just lose my mind and be like, F you, F this. I'm the best condition on this team. Why do I have to run again? I hate this. I hate you. And he'd be like, run again. I'm like, I just cuss and run again. Man.
Yeah.
So, yes, I do not think I should have to run again, given the fact that I was wearing everyone out.
God, you got to be fair. Like the 1 in a million that's like that, though.
I couldn't make it. I was like close, and I made it sometimes. And then sometimes it'd be like 8 laps in 8 minutes, and then you'd be at like 7:10 on lap 7. You'd be like, okay, I'm not.
What's the closest you ever came? Was there ever a time, Ben? Let me ask you this: who's the guy that pushed you the hardest from a gas tank standpoint?
Max. Max is the one I couldn't wear out.
What about a guy that you competed against? Like,
I never got that tired in 7 minutes. I mean, I wore people out, but I never got worn out in 7 minutes ever.
You can't think of one time where you're like, oh,
no,
man.
Never, ever. Did not happen.
Even when you were getting beat early on?
Well, I wasn't losing to the cardio. Generally, in those matches, I was coming back as the match went on. It was getting better for me. If the match would have kept going, I kind of think, now let me make an audacious statement that will make everyone mad. Okay. You know who I'm jealous of sometimes, Christian? I'm jealous of Gordon Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
You know why I'm jealous of him?
Is he can juice?
I will not make that accusation, JD Rader. That's you.
He's open about it.
Okay, I'm jealous. No, I'm jealous because if he had to do a 7-minute or 6-minute jiu-jitsu scoring match, he might not be the GOAT, right? He might not. He maybe would be, but maybe not. There's more margin for error for him. If my rule set was just go till you pin someone, I might have been the GOAT. Like, there would for many years there wouldn't have been anyone who could pin me. And if you gave me long enough against the Russians or anyone else, I would have pinned them. And then maybe like David Taylor comes around and maybe he would have been able to pin me, or a Bo Nickel eventually, someone like that. But for a handful of years there, if the rules were you're going to wrestle till you pin someone, I'm going to pin everybody.
Yeah, that's fair. And
so I'm jealous of Gordon Ryan because of that.
Even in his no time limit matches, or no time limit matches, they're still like 20, 30 minutes, which is
they're never 6 or 7.
No,
it's
never.
Crazy.
Yep.
So for the type of athlete that he is, and I would say like from body composition, well, not like muscle wise, but just like he's kind of a cardio guy. Like he just like kind of goes and goes and goes. He's not a sprinter. That would have suited me much better. And then, obviously in the freestyle rule set was the worst. I had to wrestle a 4-minute match essentially, right? It sucked.
Of note, Gordon has, I believe, the fastest submission in ADCC history this year, like 14 seconds. And he also tapped Nicky Rod in like 2 minutes. So he can do both.
And now they're beefing.
Huh?
They're beefing.
Oh, they're beefing hard. Yeah.
Who's beefing?
We're trying to stay out of the beef.
Uh-oh. Okay. Stay out of the beef.
Because they're both in Austin. It's like,
oh!
It's cool, guys. ELE. All right. Somehow, younger
Rocky. We get on that? We talked about gas tanks because you said they're so tired. Hey, I gave some good advice there on the 3 components of a gas tank.
That was great stuff.
It's not just the size of it. That's what some people think. It's the size. It's how much you can use, your toughness, and then the efficiency of which.
Like what kind of fuel are you burning, right?
I didn't even. Well, we got to think of another component to put the kind of fuel in there.
Yeah,
I guess that's the efficiency. It's either do you have a very efficient fuel mix, or You have the fishing car, one of the two.
Yeah, you run in the jet fuel, or you're running something with 60% ethanol.
Spencer's running that jet fuel. Just comes out, and he's on him and Musakayev both. They got that jet fuel.
I don't know what. Musakayev's on Marlboro Reds and Swiss cake rolls. That's his fuel.
Camel Unfiltered.
I brought him up Monday in this debate because I said even if you were a sprinter, even if your thing is like to go hard, you never know when you may use your gas tank. I said, listen, anyone in the world can use their gas tank against Musakayev. Anyone. If you just make it to minute like 3.5, he's probably going to fall over.
Mm-hmm. Musakayev's the exact opposite of you. He would be the GOAT if matches were 2 minutes.
Yes, if matches were 2 minutes, he might never ever lose.
That's possible. All right. We do need to pick a winner for this match.
I'm going to go Rocky Elam.
Man, I kind of want to as well. I'm trying to think, Rocky's single leg finish, it's like one of his best skills, and one of Younger's best skills is just bouncing on one foot for about 20 minutes. So,
but Rocky really likes to finish on the mat.
Yes, he does.
So,
which that's
a
huge
if you
advantage.
Keep it there, then that'll work. But if not, then yes, it's difficult.
Yes. There we go. So I'm gonna take Rocky in this one.
Yeah.
I think Iowa State might need this one, but maybe not as much. I think it's gonna be close for sure. I'm kind of a Bastida guy, but I'm going Rocky on this occasion. JD won't say.
Just FYI, I'm just so we're all clear. I'm biased. I'm gonna pick a lot of Missouri guys here, and I'm gonna have this score lopsided because they are toss-ups.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, just so we're clear.
I know what you're gonna do, but I'm not gonna balance you out just so we have like differing opinions either.
JD's the Iowa State homer. You don't need to be.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to balance anyone out here. I just pick who I think is gonna win. All right, heavyweight Elam versus Skyler. This is another tough one. Skyler's been looking really good. He almost lost to Pitzer, but then pulled it out at the end. Have these two hit? I'm pretty sure they almost certainly have.
I don't think so. I can't think of it.
It would seem like they would have.
Well, last year maybe.
Elam won 6-1. Last time.
Let's go.
And they've wrestled a bunch. 2-0 for Elam, pin for Elam. So yeah, they've wrestled.
Well, I was gonna pick Elam, and I was feeling a little bit like I was maybe biased on this, but that makes me feel a lot better about it.
Yeah, I'm taking Elam here as well. Iowa State may need a split here.
Man, Elam's been really good this year. He only has a singular loss to Colton Schultz.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's when Colton looked otherworldly, and he's hitting outside step high crotches and looked like ridiculous. And then he's not been the same guy since.
Mm-hmm. He hasn't beat anyone that's that great. He's beat a handful of good guys, but no one super great.
Yeah. All right. Certain Feasley. We'll go a little quicker here.
I'm going Certain by major.
I'll take decision.
Okay.
And then I'll take Redding over Brown. Benjamin.
Yeah. Where is
Adesanya? I think they're just going with Redding.
It will be probably a wrestle-off situation
at the last chance.
Last chance, or
it's a good idea.
Just closed room scenario. Adesanya's been hurt, but it'll be right before Big 12s.
Really, Redding is Redding really his equivalent? I'm looking through his wrestle stat, and it's really not that impressive.
I think Redding's pretty good.
His best win this year is, I guess, Biscaglia in overtime, or maybe Dom Zacone from Campbell. And he's lost 4 of his last 5. I'm gonna go. Let's go Tigers!
Oh my gosh!
MIZ
SOURI.
No, it's ZOU.
No, that's how it goes. You have to finish spelling it.
MIZ.
I do that to Bader every single time he says MIZ.
Oh my God.
He's come to accept it. It could be wrong on this one. It's a toss-up for sure. 41. All right, Hart versus Swiderski. Casey probably needs this one. He needs several ones. What Shane? What are your thoughts on this match, Swiderski's year, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, he's had some ups and downs, right? I mean, I really like him. I think when it's all said and done, he's going to be really good. But I think he's just kind of figuring it out. I mean, I'm always interested to see these guys that they win. They do a ton of winning, and now it's just now you got to come back with some losing. So I mean, he had a nice win. Was that Friday night when they wrestled you and I?
Yep.
He lost. He lost to you and I. He beat Pusino of Illinois.
That's what it was. Danny Ficino. He beat him. Okay. Yeah. Gosh. I mean, these are the fascinating things where I'd love to be inside somebody's head for 10 minutes. Like really know what he's thinking. I think right now with him, it's probably obviously more mental than anything. I mean, he's got the skill set to go with anybody.
I worry about the mat with him, especially against Hart, who's tough on top.
Yeah. I'd give the edge to Hart in this match. I mean, same thing. It's freaking. Is this? Yeah. I mean, I would pick Hart to win.
Mm-hmm.
But Swiderski, I mean, he's just a bad dude, man. I love how he fights. I mean, he's going to show up and go.
Yeah. I'm going to take Swiderski in this one. I've gone a couple toss-ups Missouri's way. I don't know. I think desperation can yield some interesting results. I'll leave it at that.
I'm dying to see how Bastida comes back. I'm like really looking forward to seeing how he comes back after last weekend because he didn't look very good.
Swiderski said he was back.
Yeah, he said he was back. Yep.
All right.
For the casino.
It has been declared he's back. Okay, 149. Brock Mahler versus Pinheiro Johnson. I'm calling this the CU and tiebreaker special. Just start it.
The same thing.
Save us 10 minutes.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's going to be probably 1-1.
1-1. Defense wins championships, they say. Help me break this down.
Yeah, I mean, Mahler's not going to take any risks, and Pinheiro's best thing is his reattack, so he's not going to get an opportunity to do that. I think they do a lot of looking at each other, and I think you're right. We're either going to figure out an overtime or double overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be edge to Mahler?
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it's such a coin flip.
They're both.
So some of those rideouts can be like, if you can get to their leg once and Matt return them, then you get a few more seconds. Or do you have a stall warning going into overtime? Like to just, it's a funny way to let your wrestling match be decided.
They both lost to Parco, close. Of course, Pinheiro has the 6-4 loss to Wiley, which sticks out a little bit, and he had the 3-1 win over Allard of UNI. That's just not the momentum you like to see, which probably means Pinheiro's ready to turn it around. But I think the matchup is in Pinheiro's wheelhouse to be won, and I think he's going to be comfortable in the close match. So I'm taking him in this one with zero confidence.
I think there's about 4 matches in this dual meet that's zero confidence for me. No idea. No clue. I mean, even like Swiderski and Hart, no idea. I'm when in doubt in these, I kind of go with the home team. Even though that means it might not mean anything either. Who knows?
Swiderski really likes to reattack. Hart's pretty efficient in the scrambles, and he's really good on top. And I think he could give Swiderski a lot of problems there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he could. He for sure could.
It's going to be a great. How many people will be at this thing tonight?
Usually tonight's a big one because they have the Missouri State tournament starting tomorrow, so all the teams come in town. So
but they don't.
Quite the crowd.
I don't think Missouri State tournament does start tomorrow, according to David Bray. It doesn't.
Since when? It's always been. I mean, forever. It's been the week before. The week before Wisconsin State tournament. That's how it's always been.
Missouri State tournament.
MHSAA.
You said
I know the Iowa State tournament starts tonight.
Yeah, and it doesn't until like mid-March, I think.
Yeah, all
They
I
have a
mean,
long state tournament.
I think all of them in the Midwest are Thursday, Friday, Saturday. At least all the ones that I've been to.
I mean, could this be another record? I mean, could they break a record tonight from an attendance standpoint?
I don't know about that one. Usually the Beauty and the Beast gets like real. I don't know if they did that one this year, but that one gets really high numbers. Like
I do know
8, 9, 10,000.
There will be a large contingent from the football team and their staff in attendance. Coach Smith did tell me that yesterday.
Of Missouri?
Of Missouri.
I cannot find this Missouri State Wrestling Tournament. It's annoying me. No. Wait.
I think I'm right.
What in the world?
Sorry.
They're doing, oh my God, this is so weird. This is bizarre. They're doing, yes, so it is next weekend. They must have moved it, but they're doing the 2 divisions on Wednesday, Thursday, and 2 divisions on Friday, Saturday.
Wow.
How weird is that?
Does anybody else do that?
I love celebrating my state title on Thursday night. Nothing better.
Then you can eat on the weekend, watch the other wrestling. I mean, that'd be kind of fun.
That's so weird because you also want, I mean, I don't know about other states, but in Wisconsin, for example, me and Shayna, we'll get this. Saturday night. Well, now they're adding, usually it's 3 mats, but they're adding a 4th mat for girls, which is awesome. But you put the 3 mats in a line, now 4, on the floor of the Kohl Center. Everyone walks in a circle. Everyone's getting jazzed. Let's go. State finals. And everyone's doing the state finals at the same time. And it's just such a really cool thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
So to have 2 of them 2 days before, that's like.
Probably not. They're not going to be
takes away a lot from it.
I hate what Pennsylvania does. They do their smaller school Saturday afternoon and then big school Saturday night.
On a singular mat?
Yes.
Oh, that's lame. Why
I've heard they'll have like 3rd and 5th place going on at the same time, but the finals.
Oh, no one wants 3rd and 5th. Put 3rd and 5th place in the afternoon. No one.
Have you guys been to the Pennsylvania State Tournament? Any of you guys?
I have not.
I have several times. Yes.
I've heard, again, I don't know this, but I've heard from a just like a fan experience, like it's like nobody's there. Like, you get the best wrestlers in the country in Pennsylvania. Like, Wisconsin was
packed. Tell them, Shane, we're sold out, baby.
15,000 people in the Kohl Center. Like, it's an event. And I heard Pennsylvania is like not like that.
Coming from a state like Iowa, and even
you know what it's like.
I was very surprised at the lack of attendance.
Yeah, California is the same way. I guess it's like nobody shows up.
And I didn't know if it was because they split up your small school and your big school classes, but even on days where it was the entire brackets, not just the finals, I was surprised at the lack of attendance. Yes,
I mean the Pennsylvania. You would think the Pennsylvania State Tournament would be in a 20,000 seat arena, and you still couldn't get in.
Yeah, because there's so much. Mind. So there's a high population base, and there's so much history there. Also, well, JD, what's Iowa like? Is Iowa like Wisconsin, where it's packed?
It's crazy.
Packed.
Friday and Saturday night. So yeah, Friday night and Saturday night.
CA's was
okay. So yeah, Friday and Saturday night for Wisconsin will be sold out. That is pretty insane. That Pennsylvania is not. That's really weird.
Yeah,
I will say they are a fairly rowdy crowd. They're not afraid to boo some high schoolers.
No potentially dangerous in Pennsylvania.
All right. Did you make a pick? Are you just picking Mahler, Ben?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick. I didn't even mean for it to end up like this, but I'm picking 9 Tigers. Let's go.
9-1.
You might as well go. You might as well call the shutout, Ben. Just call it.
Yeah.
Call it.
Oh, I just can't see Colton Hawks beating Marcus Coleman, but the rest of them, I could justify my picks on the rest of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I realize the likelihood it goes 9-1 is like if that was in a sports book and we're picking 9-1, it's going to be I'm going to win like plus 3,000 or something like that. I realize how ridiculous it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going for it. Let's go.
If you have the last 2 as decisions, Ben, you have it 29-3 Missouri.
Yeah. Take that, Kevin Dresser.
He's probably gonna go pins just to go, whatever.
If Kevin hears this, he's probably thinking they even show up, knowing it's going to be that bad tonight. 29-3.
Yeah. Better head home. All right, 57. JQ's versus Kreiser. JQ's a favorite here. It's probably gonna be close. just because JQ's wrestles close matches, but he should win. So I'll take him. Yeah. Ben, I guess we could.
It will be probably. It's potentially. It's either 3-2 or overtime. Yes, not a great match.
Okay, and that brings us to the main event: Keegan O'Toole versus David Carr. I think Keegan's been a little better this year. I think he has more ways to score, more ways to win. We'll see how it. They're going to hit 3 times this year. In my opinion, I think they're for sure hitting tonight. Very likely at Big 12 finals, and I would say pretty likely in the NCAA finals as well. So I think it's the first of 3, and I think that's a reason to feel out a lot of different positions and try some things, and especially if you're the underdog, which David Carr is. Man, so you see where you're at.
Okay, hold on. So if this was, I know what you guys got for the points today, and I'm sure we're gonna do that. But if this was in a sports book, I'm actually guessing, we're just doing a line. It's going to be really close to an even pick 'em, or maybe like a, minus 120 for Keegan, plus 110 for David Carr. It's something really close to even is what it's going to be.
I think in the community's mind, Keegan's a favorite, and if you did pick 'em, you want even money on both sides. I don't think you'd get that if you made it a pick 'em.
Really?
I made this line. I gave Keegan a 1.5.
Okay, but so if we're talking about a money line, I mean, what would happen though, Christian, is that even if the first wave of people picked Keegan, then the odds are going to go in his favor, and then David Carr at plus 130, 140, 150, everyone's going to say, "Oh, I'll take that." I'll take that.
Yes, I agree.
I don't actually think he's that much of an underdog, and then and then it would go closer back to even.
It would be like minus 130 or 20 for Keegan.
Yes,
minus 110 for David. There would be no positive money on this line.
The informal tweet we sent asking was pretty well. It's all over the place. It's a little more Keegan than Carr, but there's a lot of Carr. It's tough to say. All day Keegan O'Toole, David Carr, Keegan, Carr. Whoa. All right, maybe it would be even.
Yeah. I think it'd be close to even.
So I am taking Keegan in this match. I think we're going to learn a lot, and I think that's probably how Carr's going to approach it. I don't think he's going to hold back. I think he's going to try things and see what works and what doesn't work. And he even mentioned in his interview, it's like, man, this is all about refining and getting ready for the big one. And he all but said, yeah, I'm probably going to see this guy 2 other times beyond this match. So he's like, that's the final test. That's what I'm preparing for. So with that,
we said, Christian, if we said guys who've had, say, I don't know, Keegan's 50-61 in his college career right now, guys with 50 matches or more, how many of them have 3 losses or less? And David Carr is actually only 2 because the redshirt one wouldn't actually count on his official record. He actually only has 2 losses, so he's probably 80-2 or something to that effect if you take out the redshirt season. How many guys have that few losses? Like what, Starocci? Not even Aaron Brooks or Spencer Lee has that.
Yeah.
He has the 2.
Or RBY had a bunch early.
Yeah.
Mackay's got more than that. I mean, there's not a lot. Like when you think about the amount of times these guys lose, it's just really few and far between.
Fix only has the finals and Philippi, right? I'm not forgetting one.
He got 3 finals.
He beat Suriano in the duel. Gaitan. Yeah, he lost twice as a redshirt freshman.
Well, that was the year he lost. Yeah, that was the year he made the finals. That was Philippi and Suriano, and then 2 RBYs.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Yanni only has 2.
Yanni's got 2.
Pretty absurd.
Yeah.
And of course, these guys have
a
lot of their career still to go, right?
Yeah.
Keegan has this season and 2 more. Carr has 1 more after this, right?
Yep.
Correct.
So
let's see what Aaron Brooks has.
What's exciting too is both these guys are the plan is 74 kilos for this year, maybe even LA. So this could be the first match in a very long post-collegiate rivalry as well.
Guys, this might be a stupid question, but I'll ask it anyways. In a match like this, is it? I mean, obviously you want to win, but I mean, am I safe in saying almost the intel is far more valuable?
I don't know. I think you try. I mean, especially if you're the winner, you try your strategy that you think is the best possibility to win the match, and then if it works, then you probably use it again, maybe make a small adjustment you think about what adjustment will they make, and then you try to make a counter adjustment. If you lose, then you're like, okay, why didn't my strategy work, and what could I do differently? I mean, the one advantage Keegan would have kind of like after that is David Carr, I think, does less things. He has less ways to score. Keegan just has so much offense. His snaps are good. His match position is elite. He's got great drags. He can go head outside step, head outside to both sides. He can go head inside to right side. He can go down block, go behind basic defense. He's got obviously elite scrambling. So there's just like a lot of things he can do. So if he tries some things and they don't work, he can say, okay, let me go to my next set of things.
Yeah. So you mentioned the blurb you gave, you tried to give Keegan before his Wenzel match. What's the thing you're saying to him? If there's like one thing you want in Keegan's mind for this match to maybe watch out for or avoid, or what is that thing?
There's I've heard say close the distance, right? David Carr likes, he's got a really leaned over stance that keeps his arms out a lot to try to keep a lot of space. I would probably say try to close that space off.
Yeah. I will say, I don't think Keegan has faced anyone with the leg attack, speed, prowess of David Carr this year.
Definitely not. I mean,
or even last year, no one, I don't think he's faced this kind of skill set.
Who else would be on that level?
Yeah, I mean, not many. Very few.
Yeah, it's few. Let's see, 165. Yeah, I mean, definitely not Shane Griffith.
Definitely not Evan Wick. Definitely not. I mean, he didn't hit Wick.
Well, Evan Wick's got a great single, but yeah, maybe not quite as quick as David Carr. Yeah, no, I mean, there's just not really anyone else who's on in this year's field that's on the same caliber. Brian O'Toole is trying to tell me. Let's see if you guys disagree or agree. He was trying to tell me that I disagreed. 165 this year is potentially one of the better weight classes of all time. And I said, well, I think it's really good. I said that, the obvious of 133 a few years back, and then 149, 2008, better. But you obviously have guys in this bracket, Keegan, David, and Shane already have won NCAA titles. And obviously they'll be beating each other potentially in the future. Shane likely won't win because he's on Island 2. So he won't win another one. But then in the future, could some of these guys go to other weights? Like, I'm pretty sure Karchula is bumping up. I wouldn't be surprised if Hamidi bumped up. Could some of them go to 74 and win a title up there also?
Facundo, right? Down the road?
Yeah, he's good.
No, you know my feelings on that topic.
Yeah, so...
You're a big Facundo guy, Ben?
No, I don't think he's that great.
Okay.
Didn't we? I thought we argued this already, like 2 weeks ago.
I can't remember 20 minutes ago.
Maybe it may have been with me also. I would say...
I'm pretty sure Shane. But
okay.
Go ahead.
It's fine. I would say it's up there. I mean, I don't think anything is within 149, 2008. I think that's just...
I agree.
I'm not going to say untouchable, but I don't know.
Close.
Close. The question is, does it compare to the Dayton? And this weight didn't quite transpire like we thought because Seth got hurt, but it would have been Seth Gross if he had stayed healthy. Dayton Fix, Nick Soriano, Stevan Micic, Sebastian. Wait, really?
Is he there?
No, Rivero came up the next year. He came up the following year. I don't think so. I think Sebastian was the he was 2020 when he came up a weight class, right?
Yes. So that weight was really, really good. I think you had DeSanto in the mix as well. Roman.
John Smith called it the toughest weight class he's ever seen.
Yes. All due respect, it's up there. It's certainly up there. But when Gross goes out for the year with injury, that definitely that's a returning national champion that didn't get to wrestle in it. So that hurt it. But yeah, it was really good. But 3 current NCAA champions is really rare. Really, really rare. So it's up there for the modern era. One of the best weights ever.
And I think it's happened, guys, to win. Don't quote me on this. I think it's happened just twice, maybe, where a guy's had to beat a couple national champs to win a title.
You mean like 2 in the same bracket? You mean? Or
yeah, what? I'm going off at Jim Gibbons is one of them. That's how come I know Jim is.
Oh,
one
really?
Of them. Yeah, Jim is one of them, and then was it Nick? It was either like Nickerson or Escobedo, one of those guys.
So we're obviously saying people who already won national titles, not people who would go on to win national titles.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Interesting.
2010, you mentioned that 2010 NCAAs 125 had Nickerson, Escobedo. Neither of them won. Robles might have been in that bracket too. McDonough beat Long.
Maybe it's happened 3 times. I'll find out. But this could be one of those situations again.
Yeah.
The 125s from like 2005 to 12 or 15, they just loved winning one title.
Yeah, that's true. That makes it even look better because they only win one.
Yeah,
there's so many injuries in that bundle also where a guy would either win and get hurt or be hurt and then get healthy and then like win.
Even like
year.
Delgado won 2, couldn't do it again. McDonough, didn't have it as senior year.
Had the injury. Escobedo had the injury. Yeah, there were so many of those.
Big Ten I don't know what I was even going to say. Mark Bader walked in and distracted me. I distracted myself.
Did he show you his watch?
Huh? No. Okay. So the duel is concluded. At least the preview has. Great. We're really looking forward to it.
What time does that start tonight, guys?
JD?
6:30 Central.
Nice.
Don't quote me on that. I'm double checking. I'm going to be there like all day.
Live on FloWrestling.
It is live on FloWrestling.
It is live on FloWrestling.
Can't wait.
Yes, indeed. And make sure you check out check out
I
JD's
love that
content.
It's on a Wednesday night too. Love it.
I wish there were more.
Yeah,
I agree. You guys should sign an exclusive contract with one of these schools, and in the contract, it has to state they can only do Wednesday duels or Thursday duels or something like that. So that way they're forced to do it on that date.
All right. Yeah. We're going to do that right now.
What? You don't like my idea?
I love it.
Come down there.
We say it all the time. We love the weekend duels. They're great. Fantastic. They do well too, also. All right. So that's it. Can't wait for it. Tune in live on Flow this evening for David Carr versus Keegan O'Toole. David O'Carr.
For the record, CP's prediction 18-12 Missouri.
Yeah. Bastida Elam is going to be huge for that one. Bastida Elam's going to be so big. All right. Bader's here, but I want to get to this before Bader's hops on. He can hop on. He can sit and listen in. But I want to talk about this story.
Be quiet over there, Bader.
Shut up, man. Go ahead. This is a weird story. In Maryland, Silver Spring, Maryland, Wheaton High School, they have a wrestling team, and their season got completely shut down like last week because their coach used an ineligible wrestler in competition. And so you read about it a little bit. They used someone that not only was an ineligible wrestler, this person was not a student in the Montgomery County Public Schools.
Wild.
Which, that is quite a leap. It's like, I don't know if it was a graduate that used to wrestle or just someone, who knows? But they used someone that was ineligible. And as a result,
it said in the article, not a student. So like, what? It's not like the kid failed the class. The person was not a student.
Yeah, it wasn't like, he got kicked off the team and was academically ineligible. Yeah. This is like a not high school student that was wrestling. So who knows who it was? Who knows how that transpired? Who knows how the athlete was utilized? Those are the details we don't exactly have.
We need those details.
Those details feel relevant.
Super relevant.
So what is the abbreviation? MPSSA, I think, is the Maryland whatever governing body. They said, you're all done. You're all done. The season is over for you.
That sucks.
That's bad. And I think, and they cited, okay, they used this guy, this wrestler that was not a student, but then they also said the student athletes seem to have knowledge that this athlete wasn't a student.
Well, duh.
It's like, yeah, I know.
No, I'm kidding. Next to him in English.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. They're probably
like my dad works with them full time at whatever place.
Yeah. He's actually the janitor. I see him in the hallway, but then he comes to practice.
Yeah, he's on the 1980 Olympic team.
He drives a bus. It's great. So
I had a mustache better than JD's, for God's sakes.
Yeah,
not possible.
Yeah, that's tough. So on the one hand, it's like, yeah, you cannot do that. But on the other hand, the advantage of wrestling is that this isn't a scenario where, okay, you've got a basketball team and you bring in a ringer and you win a game and you advance somewhere in the tournament. Like that result, and then, I think you got to shut that down. But this is an individual sport based on your individual accomplishments. You've got a coach that is wildly out of pocket. Okay, wildly out of pocket. And so that speaks to there is a cultural problem on the team as a result of that, because their leader just makes terrible decisions. And I'm sure that wasn't the only one. But I do think it is misplaced punishment to end every student's season. To participate in a sport is a good thing. And to end the season because they have a bad coach, that's not really the kid's fault. And even if they did know, okay, what are they supposed to do? The guy in charge is the one putting this dude out there. Am I supposed to be a whistleblower? Are you supposed to be
go tell the principal?
Like,
I don't know.
Yeah. And to that point, why doesn't where's the AD checking in? It's like, hey, you got any 22-year-olds scrapping it out for you, wrestling 138?
Did they say how many times? Was it just a one-time thing, or has it been all season?
It doesn't say. So if this was like a dual state thing, no, they shouldn't be in that. But the individual wrestlers that are trying to reach their goals and wrestle their state tournament, these seniors, it doesn't make sense to end their season. Let them go. They fired the coach. I don't know if I mentioned that.
You didn't, but that's
it's one of those kind of goes without saying.
Highly relevant.
But yeah, so he's fired. So the guy that screwed it up has been dealt with. He should probably, hopefully, never coach in that capacity again. And there it is. So I don't know what else you can do. And someone says maybe it was an 8th grader. This says it wasn't a Montgomery County public school student. So they weren't even in the system. They weren't even in elementary school.
You know what I think the most likelihood is that it was some type of situation where the kid was a student and then he decided like he wanted to drop out or not, but like he just wanted to keep wrestling, so he just kept showing up at practice, and the kid let him. That would be, I would guess, what the most likely scenario is.
Or expulsion.
Yeah, I mean the kid got kicked out. Regardless, we get it. He shouldn't have been wrestling. The guy wasn't a student, and he was doing high school. So you gotta punish them. But I don't agree with the decision to end everyone's season as a result of.
I agree.
Yeah, but guys, here's the thing, though. Just kind of playing the other side of it.
Uh-oh.
I mean, it sucks. I mean, this is horrible, okay? I mean, nobody's going to argue that, but I think when you look bigger picture, it's just kind of like, okay, well, what rules at the end of the day that are broken? Okay, this rule in particular we're talking about right now, it's just not fair to these other kids. You got to put them in. Fine. But now what about if another rule is breaking? Then it just gets to be too much of a gray area. I mean, you got to have some of these rules in place. It just is what it is. I mean, and I would say this too. I don't think it's a huge, like you hear about a story like this one in particular. I've never heard of one like this before, ever. So it's like, do you switch the whole rules because of one scenario? I mean, the guy, it sucks. But, I mean, whoever this coach is, I mean, what's he doing? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, so these governing bodies clinging to the rules like they're the daggone Bill of Rights or the Constitution, like guys.
But Christian, because everybody's in court all the time.
Huh?
Why is this a national story?
It is a national story.
I'm asking why.
Oh, I don't know.
Because it's interesting, right? We're talking about it because it's interesting. Like it just made its way here. It's made its way around.
Yeah, I don't know.
Another classic wrestling story, and I know these.
I'm just not that interested. Can we do the next topic?
So yeah,
sorry, Montgomery.
No,
Ben.
Next topic.
Ben's boredom is not a rationale to move on.
Okay.
What if there was a good reason?
Going.
What if there was somehow a good? This kid's life is falling apart. He needs wrestling to give him structure.
Yeah.
My mind went there, Peter. My mind went there too.
Without wrestling, he'd be.
But there's also so many details we don't know. So we're talking these theoreticals. And if I feel like if I make a strong point, I could be an idiot because I don't even know what the real story is.
All right. Well, if we could safely just operate under the assumption this was a wrestler that shouldn't have been wrestling. And we can even operate under the assumption that all the kids knew he wasn't supposed to be wrestling. All those things can be true. And it's still, I don't get the slippery slope argument with this. Like, this is probably a rare thing that happens. And you don't have to. There's nothing that says you have to end everyone's season as a result of this. You end the season for the guilty parties, and punishing the entire team doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I guess we do need more details to have a
release the documents. I say
yes.
Okay. Well, Mark Bader, why don't we, before we talk about what we're going to talk about, pre-talk, can we play the trailer for the newest Flow film? Here it is. All right, we're going to hit the button.
So Dunia Sibimana, jungle kid. And he is from the Congo.
From what I know where Dunia is from, it's very dangerous. On one sunny day, they were playing on the edge of the jungle.
The chimpanzees just came out of nowhere and attacked me. It was just like shocking seeing a chimpanzee in front of me.
We will never know exactly what happened to Dunia that day. Dunia remembers waking up and seeing his face just hanging.
When I woke up in the hospital, I was just like scared. I was just surprised I was still alive.
Wrestling saved his life, along with that park ranger in Virunga. He found his identity through wrestling, and he found his confidence through wrestling.
I would describe Dunia's wrestling style as exciting. He takes it to you. He doesn't back down, doesn't take any time off. He's just on you. I
couldn't imagine this life at first when I came here. I just knew that it was a miracle that I was still alive, and things happen for a reason.
So there you have it. Coming soon. It is out now. In fact, episode 2 of our series, No Sad Stories, about Dunia Sibimana. If you didn't catch it, quick cliff notes on this. Dunia was born in the Congo. He and some family members were playing by the jungle. They were attacked by chimpanzees. His family members there were killed. He was left there by the chimpanzees. His face is really was basically ripped off an entire half of his face. And he was found by a park ranger. He made his way to New York. He is now a New York State champion as an 8th grader. Now he's in his 9th grade season. And there's a lot in between what I just described. An amazing story. And Bader, I just want to, when you first heard about this, how did you first hear about it, and what was it like? You're like, wait, chimpanzees, Congo, New York, what?
So, yeah, you guys know Ollie. He's been on Ollie Stone. Right?
Not familiar, but
yeah, he's
we miss him.
FRL.
We miss him.
Right. Well, me and Ollie like to, we jab at each other. We give each other a hard time. You try to get one over, make something up, get the other guy to fall for it, right? Mm-hmm. Just like tell outlandish things. And one day we're here in this building a year ago or so, and he's like, Bader, I'm telling you this thing. This is for real, though. This kid from my high school, he got attacked by chimpanzees. I'm like, I'm serious, Bader. I'm like, yeah, I ain't falling for this, Ollie. Nice try. Like, no, after he says it 5-6 times, I'm telling you, I don't know how to tell you. I know this sounds like a thing that we normally do, but this is like for real. I'm like, you're making this stuff up, and it just so happens to be from your high school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And, and finally, I think maybe we looked him up. I'm like, holy cow, this is legit. And he's like, yeah, he just won sections. It was about a year ago or something.
Literally.
And I'm like, holy cow. And I think I think we had maybe started the No Sad Stories series. Maybe not. Either way, it makes sense to I'm like, wow, this is an incredible story. And then he goes on to win state. I'm like, holy smokes, this is like, yeah, let's do it. And then, so Miguel was in the trailer. Miguel's adopted father. Miguel, I don't know if people remember Isaiah Bird, the wrestler out of New York, had no legs. Miguel took him in, right? Miguel took in Dunia as well, and I got a hold of Miguel and talked through it, said, hey, we're interested in maybe doing a story. What do you guys think? And that's how the process started, and that's kind of how it went, and that's how we got to. That's how I heard about him and how we kind of got this thing lined up. We actually spent like 3 days with Dunia after Final X up in New York City last year.
Yeah. So for a piece like this, where you're delving into, you're not talking about, okay, you lost a match. Okay, it's like, no, family members were killed. You're, permanently, I don't know if disfigured is the word, but damaged in the face. You got a finger bitten off, which is not in the trailer, but happened from the chimpanzee. Found by a park ranger. How is it delving into that with someone? Like, I mean, and he's a kid.
Yeah.
He's a freshman in high school.
It's like, they're all different. Like, if you're going to interview Terry Colott or Terry Brands or somebody, Ben or whatever, somebody who's an adult, right? It's a lot easier to talk about. Even Terry, right? Some dark topics like in Carrie. You get there and it's okay. We're talking about losing wrestling matches and stuff like that. And now you're talking about some really dark stuff with, like you said, a kid, right? And he's kind of shy, right? He's a 14-year-old kid at the time. So it was tricky, kind of structuring the interview a little different than I normally would. Just how long before we're getting, it's not like we sit down. I'm like, all right, tell me about
the monkeys.
Tell me about the attack. So, and on top of that, when you get into do these interviews, you sit down. It's like a really focused one-on-one, and you get to these places where you're telling stories, and like it's almost like you're back to that moment and you're talking about it. So you want uninterrupted time. Well, we're at the school, and every 45 minutes the bells ring. So we start to we talk about some things, then we kind of talk about where he's from, and then I'm about to start getting an attack, and ring, the bell sounds, and kids are passing, so we got to wait because, you got to have silence for it to sound right. Let everybody pass, and you can't just jump right back in and be like, okay, where were we? Oh yeah, and then you got to figure out, all right, how do we kind of get back to that place where we were, so that we both feel comfortable asking about this and talking about this. So that was tricky, but he was, he wasn't excited to talk about it, but he wasn't, like he wasn't hesitant.
Yeah.
He was, hey, I'd ask, can we talk about this? Can I ask you about this? Do you feel comfortable? Yeah, it's okay. And then, okay, he said I could. And then you just start asking question after question to kind of get the finer details of what happened.
Yeah. And his coach, Miguel, who he lives with,
adopted him.
Adopted father now. It's like, I forget which FRL, it was like a week or so ago, just talking about that Alabama song, Angels Among Us. It's like, man, this is another an angel on earth with Miguel taking this guy in. And there have been a lot of people that had a hand in helping bring Dunia along. So many people to help get him to this point. It's an amazing story.
Yeah, he lived with. So there's the Smile Rescue Foundation. Get into that. It's this foundation, right, that helps people with broken faces,
bad accidents.
So they brought him over to Stony Brook Medical Center in Long Island, and Dunia actually stayed with 3 or 4 different host families for however long, and they just weren't equipped at that point in their lives to handle the responsibility after so long of taking care of him. So he kind of got passed around, right, in a nice way. And however he met Miguel, they said it was like they just clicked. And Miguel's got this huge heart, and he was staying with a different family, I think somewhere on Long Island, but he'd go visit Miguel, and every once in a while in his family, and he'd stay for a couple of days, and he'd stay for a week, and then all of a sudden they were like, hey, why don't you just stay with us kind of permanently? And then, of course, Miguel coaches wrestling, so he's around wrestling, introduced him. Then there was the thing of like, well, Dunia wants to wrestle. Well, he can't, right? Like he's having all these surgeries, and his face he can't take those kind of, wrestling, you're going to hit your face. That's just part of it. But he got the mask, wore it for a little bit, didn't like it, and they just, I don't know. And the doctors all said, no, absolutely not. This kid can't wrestle. Mm-hmm. But he, ended up falling in love with it, as all 4 or 5 of us have at one point in our lives. And here we are, and what freaking state titles in 8th grade. I don't know. Do any of you guys know how many did Troy Letters? Not Troy Letters. Troy Nickerson.
Yanni.
What are there? 3, 4, 5?
Yanni. Yeah, there's
5 guys to win New York State titles in 8th graders. So.
Yanni's not a 5-timer, but he won as an 8th grader. It's not a big list. If you're winning states as an 8th grader, he's really good.
I don't know did you catch that in that little trailer we played? Like he hits a takedown right into a gut wrench, and he just pops his hips and throws him over the top. I'm like, dang, I can't even hit a gut wrench like that.
Yeah.
It's true.
A younger Mark Bader, though, for sure.
Well,
but yeah.
I have not watched this film, so I can't comment. But Mark, I'll give you you're my buddy. I can give you a compliment. The RBY stuff was pretty powerful stuff, and a lot of it had to do with your interviewing skills. So great job, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And like to that, right? You watch the RBY film, and you're like, wow, this kid. Mm-hmm. I didn't know, right? This kid had a really tough life, and then a month later, you're like, holy cow! Nah.
Whoa.
Tucson and that whole thing, that's tough, but geez, look at this. This is great. It's just like, and then next month, we're going to film on Keegan, and that's more of a wrestling story, right? And some things he's overcome within wrestling, but everybody's got a different struggle, and being able to tell that story, however big or small that struggle is, to me, I love it. It's fun, and I appreciate that, Ben.
Yeah.
What about this particular film, Bader? And I echo, first of all, Ben's comments. I mean, these are just, you do a great job on these. These are just fantastic. And I would say these things, RBY and this one as well, and I got to watch this one, but I mean, these would be interesting if you are a non-wrestling fan. I mean, this is something that would be awesome to watch regardless. But what about this particular story stood out to you the most?
I mean, it goes with, it's the obvious, right? Like what he went through. We've never done a film that is this dark, right? That has that's anything this crazy has happened. I'm trying to think like, Cole got screwed 4 years in a row.
Mine to Mark Schultz.
Mark Schultz. Yeah, I mean, Metcalf's brother died, and everybody's dealt with tragedy at some point, but I don't know that we've done one that's like this, I don't know, extreme, this vivid, this, and part of the challenge and part of what I like is like asking these like awkward or difficult questions, like to Terry, right? Like, what'd you do after you lost? To Dunia, like tell me as many details as you could feel comfortable and remember about this, and then asking a couple more. Yeah.
Good stuff, Bader. Larry H says, I'm waiting on the Ozzy Man Strong Boy film.
Ozzy Man Strong Boy.
Yeah.
Is this some? Am I missing some? I don't know this one.
That's Ben's son's nickname.
Ozzy.
Like his name is Mark.
Yeah. Ben named his son after my best friend, Ozzy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's kind of not true, but it is funny because Ozzy's middle name is James, and actually Mark's friend's name is also James, but nickname Ozzy.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good stuff.
So I'll say this too, as far as the films go. So we're gonna have 12 films this year, films, episodes, but every month we're gonna have a new one. So we had RBY. This one's coming out today. We're gonna have another one on Keegan in March. April, we're gonna have one called the Eloy Boys, which you never heard of them, but it's this group of kids about an hour south of Phoenix. They go to Valiant Prep, which is all wrestling school, which is an interesting enough deal in itself. And these kids down in Eloy, just a really fun group of kids. Into May, Rob Rohn You guys know the name Rob Roan?
Rob Roan, baby cement mixer.
Shane, does that ring a bell?
It doesn't.
Oh my god.
Come on, Shane. 2002, he's losing by 12 in the NCAA finals with a minute to go. Minute 15, minute 20. Hits a cement job. Josh Lamberg of Oklahoma fights off his back for a minute. And he gets pinned. The place goes nuts.
It's insane.
Nuts. It was one match before Kale won his fourth.
Yeah.
So awesome there. And we're hoping to dive into some more little, match specific, greatest kind of pins ever. But yeah, that's kind of what's coming up first half of the year. So super stoked about the slate of things coming out on the films front. Oh, Dunia, and this RBY was free today. Dunia also free to watch. So we want to get this out to as many people as possible. And we're working on and on the path to getting stuff on other platforms. Not just FloWrestling, but other ways to distribute these films. And when we have that's actually done, we'll let everybody know.
Yeah.
So
we're trying to get them to play on those TVs at the Valero gas stations.
Yeah.
That would be that's
prisons, wherever.
Prisons. Honestly.
That's not off the table.
Why not? Okay. Prison Radio Live. Do we want to get to a few questions before?
I saw one question. Can we ask this one? This is great.
Yeah, ask it.
His name cannot be blank. Who is more likely to All-American? Kobe Seabrook or Jacob Warner?
Come on. Warner.
It's a funny one.
Not that funny.
Are you sure? Because 97 is pretty tough.
Yeah. You'd
still pick Warner.
I feel way more confident in Warner.
He's got it.
Yeah.
All right, fine. No fun from you guys.
You just want to laugh at people.
No, but it's okay. It is like if you would have said that in November, it would have been laughed at. If you say that right now, it's actually not that preposterous, and you kind of think twice about it.
I don't think it's preposterous. I just think it has a kind of a clear answer in my opinion. Okay, this could be funny. With state championship season here, what's the funniest story you have from competing, coaching / watching? I'm sure Ben has a couple great ones. I'm sure CP has seen some things with Buffalo Gap.
I told this one before, but Ben snuck into the state tournament to watch his brother wrestle. Put on a fake costume. Could get kicked out for being on the floor or something like that, and they were told not to let him in. And he put on a wig, probably about as long as my hair is. And he walked in, maybe a top hat, or was it a hat and a mustache? It was something.
I wanted to go on the floor to talk to my brother, and they said no, and I did it anyways. And then they escorted me out, and I said I'm not going to stay out. I'm clearly going back in.
That is so funny. I haven't snuck in there. I think I've told the story. I got kicked out of a tournament once. I was just being a jerk. I'm way calmer now.
What's a funny story?
Man, I just had funny kids. I had one kid. First of all, I had to pull this kid off of another kid. He was beating the crap out of him in the middle of practice one time. This was just a fired up West Augusta, country boy. But he always called it fighting. And he'd be like, Coach, what time are we fighting today? And I'd be like,
practice?
I'd be like, well, it'd be on match days. I was like, the match starts at 10 or whatever it was. And then like every now and again, he would come up to me because I was sort of fired up. And he'd be like, hey, Coach, I got your back. He would always tell me, like, basically, if it goes down, I got your back. So if it goes down,
you need a kid like that.
Heck yeah, I loved kids like that. He was fun. He didn't win a lot of matches, but those are the kids you remember. Oh my gosh, this is the funniest freaking story. Well, it was to me at the time. I thought it was so funny. So, country boys, country school, Buffalo Gap. It's not hard to figure out. These boys, they like to pack their lip every now and again, get a little.
Oh my goodness!
And they did not do it. They knew not to do it in front of me. They knew, nope, can't do it on the bus, can't do it, don't even try it. And so it's my two seniors. They're awesome kids. I've been coaching them for 5 years. We're at the state tournament, and They're at the hotel, and the one kid, he's just like, just a country boy through and through. He's simple kid, not the quickest wit. And the other kid's like, he went to Washington Lee, really sharp kids, but they had a hilarious dynamic. So I go in, I'm checking on rooms, seeing how the guys are doing. I go in there. What's up, guys? Oh, not much, coach. We're talking probably 10, 15 minutes. I'm gonna use your restroom real quick, guys. I go in there, and in the toilet, there's all this little fine brown stuff in the toilet bowl. I said, guys, come here. And they walk in, and I say,
y'all dipping?
I said, Trevor was his name. I said, what is this? He looks at it. I can't get it out. He goes, I think that's pipe sediment, coach. Pipe sediment. I was like, where did this, if you knew this kid, for him to come up with pipe sediment like that, I don't know if he'd used it before.
Yeah, it's not the first time
I laughed so hard when he said that. I was like, whatever. Flush. I was like, do not let me. Oh, no. I forget. I think I may have, I took all their stuff. I was like, give it all to me right now. And they gave it, they were 18. So they gave me all their stuff for the rest of the tournament. And then sure enough, when that tournament ended, Coach, can I get my shoe back? Yes. I said, I'm giving it to your parents. They can deal with it.
Kristen, you ever had a tobacco on your lip?
Never.
Guys, we got to do that.
We've
got to tase Ben, and we got to get Christian. We got to find a bet that Christian's going to take where he'll say, if I lose, I'll pack
a horseshoe bet.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, Christian did puke of it. I just put the littlest amount of this only foreign substance I ever put in my body. And I lost. Mark Bader was there that day, I believe, and I lost a bet to Kevin Herron, and I had to take a dip. I took the littlest one. That was on hole number hole number 7. By hole number 10, I just laid on the sidewalk and hung out there for like 2 hours.
Your head was spinning, right?
Was spinning. I did not. I said, "You guys go play. I'm gonna lay down here on the cement here and just lay here for a couple hours."
I have no interest in that. I would rather do a marijuana than a freaking dip.
Did you just say do a marijuana?
Do a
marijuana.
Yeah, I said it. That's what it is.
Oh, Christian, thank you.
We need to be done.
I'll do a marijuana.
Show, Christian.
I think that's what they say.
Do a marijuana.
The kids.
That's what I think the kids call it. They do a marijuana. They go out back and they do a marijuana in the alley.
How many pots do they smoke?
Yeah, so many marijuana cigarettes.
Oh god!
All right. Well, with that,
were you there that day or no?
I don't know that I was. Man,
but sad you missed that.
Pipe Sediment Radio Live. We thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Christian and Mark, you guys better not go do a marijuana in the FloWrestling bathroom.
Heck no.
Yeah, we wouldn't. We pass on grass all the time. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back tomorrow. JD won't be. He'll be flying. Bray's going to be sitting right here in this seat. Please watch Dunia. Ben's going to watch it, and he'll give his thoughts about it tomorrow.
I will watch it. Absolutely.
6:30, Missouri, Iowa State.
6:30, Missouri, Iowa State. Keegan, O'Toole, David Carr. It's happening. The whole duel is going to be fire. Thanks so much.
Where do you watch that?
FloWrestling.org.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Shane.
Yep, you guys have a great week.
See you, boys. Thanks a lot. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.